March 6th, 2018. Somewhere outside Bismarck, North Dakota. It was almost midnight. I had just wrapped up a long shift at the diner, exhausted and eager to get home. The road I took was one of those old back roads. No streetlights, no houses, nothing but endless fields and dark trees that swayed in the wind. My old Honda hummed along the cracked pavement, and the only light came from my headlights cutting through the night. Everything was quiet. Too quiet. After a few miles, I noticed headlights behind me. At first, I didn't think much of it, but the lights were bright, and they were getting closer. Too close. I moved over a bit, expecting the car to pass, but it didn't. It just stayed behind me, tailing me like a shadow. 5 minutes passed. Then 10. Still there. I was starting to feel nervous, so I slowed down and pulled off to the side of the road. The other car did the same. It stopped right behind me, engine still running, headlights on full blast, but no one got out. I waited. 1 minute. 2. Nothing. No movement. No honk. Just the steady purr of their engine and those blinding lights pouring into my rearview mirror. My heart was racing now. I was sweating even though it was freezing outside. Something about it felt wrong. Like I was being watched. I started driving again, my hands tight on the wheel. And the car behind me? It followed. It didn't matter how fast I went or how many turns I took. It stayed right there, like it was stuck to me. I could feel my chest tightening with every mile. I was thinking maybe I should call someone, the cops, a friend, anyone. But my phone was dead. I remember plugging it into the charger earlier that day, but somehow it was completely drained. That's when the fear turned to panic. Then I saw something in the rearview mirror, not the car behind me, something inside my car. A man, sitting in the back seat, pale face, dark, sunken eyes. He was staring right at me. I screamed, slammed the brakes, and threw the door open. I jumped out of the car so fast I barely felt my feet hit the ground. I rolled into the gravel, gasping for air, heart pounding like a drum. But when I looked back, the car that had been following me, it was empty. No one behind the wheel. The headlights were still on, engine running, but there was no one in the driver's seat. And when I looked inside my own car, the back seat was empty too. I know what I saw. I know there was someone there. I called the police. They came, looked around, asked questions, but there were no tire tracks behind my car. No signs another vehicle had ever been there. Nothing on the roadside cameras. Nothing in the diner's parking lot either. Just me. Alone. They told me I must have been tired. Maybe I was seeing things. But I wasn't tired. I wasn't imagining it. There was a man in my car, and someone, or something, was driving the one behind me. I haven't driven at night since, and sometimes, when I leave work late and the sky's dark, I swear I still see headlights, just waiting, far off in the distance, waiting to follow me again. January 12th, 2120, Savannah, Georgia. I live alone in a small apartment complex in Savannah. It's nothing special. Just an old 2-story building tucked behind a gas station. Rent's cheap, neighbors keep to themselves, and it's always been quiet. Peaceful even. At least, it used to be. That winter was cold and unusually still. The kind of cold that seeps into your bones and makes the silence feel heavy. One night, around 3 a.m., I was lying in bed half awake when I heard it. Knock, knock, knock. 3 knocks. Not on my front door, not even from the hallway. These came from the wall right next to my bed, the wall that separates my apartment from the next unit. At first, I thought maybe my neighbor had knocked something over. I brushed it off and went back to sleep. The next night, same time, 3 a.m. on the dot, it happened again. Knock, 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 same spot, same rhythm. Then, silence. It was strange, sure, but I still didn't think much of it. Maybe someone had a weird sleep habit, or maybe it was the pipes. I tried to ignore it, but when it happened again on the third night, the exact same 3 knocks at the exact same time, I decided to knock back. Just 3 soft knocks with my knuckles on the cold wall. That's when everything changed. The knocking stopped. That night, and the next. Nothing. Not a sound. I figured whoever it was got the message. Or maybe I scared them off. But I was wrong. I didn't scare anyone off. I woke up a week later to something worse. I had just come home from a long day at work. My apartment was quiet, just like always. I dropped my keys, kicked off my shoes, and went to change. But my bedroom door wouldn't open. It was locked from the inside. I stood there confused, staring at the doorknob. I don't even have a lock on that door. It's the kind of old wooden door that never even came with a latch. I tried pushing harder. Nothing. I called maintenance. Took them about 30 minutes to show up and another 10 to finally get the door open. What we found inside chilled me to my core. There was no one in the room. No sign that anyone had been there. Nothing was missing. Nothing was broken. But behind my bed, carved deep into the drywall, were 3 words. Don't knock back. No one could explain it. Not the landlord. Not maintenance. And when I checked with my neighbor about the knocking, they told me no one had lived in that unit for months. They said the last tenant moved out after complaining of strange noises in the walls. I haven't heard the knocking again since that night. But I haven't slept soundly either. Sometimes I lay in bed staring at that wall, waiting, listening, and every now and then, I think I hear it. Just one soft knock, like a warning. October 29th, 2016, Tulsa, Oklahoma. Back in 2016, I used to babysit for a couple who lived in a quiet neighborhood in Tulsa. They had one daughter, a little girl named Lila. She was about 6, sweet, polite, and quiet. But there was always something different about her. She didn't like cartoons, didn't like dolls. All she ever wanted to do was play this strange game she called the mirror talker. Every time I came over, she'd take me by the hand and lead me into her bedroom. She had this tall mirror by her closet, old and a little dusty around the edges. She'd sit cross-legged in front of it, cover her eyes with her small hands and start whispering, always whispering. Her lips would move slowly. Her voice was soft, too soft for me to make out what she was saying. At first, I thought it was just a silly pretend game, imagination stuff, but something about it made the room feel colder. One evening, I finally asked her what she was saying in the mirror. She looked at me with this calm little smile and said, "I'm asking her what you're hiding." I chuckled nervously. "Who's her?" She just kept smiling and covered her eyes again. I laughed it off. Kids are weird, right? But that night, after I put her to bed and sat on the couch to wait for her parents, I started hearing something. Whispers. Faint and slow, like someone talking right behind me. But when I turned around, nothing was there. It happened again the next night I babysat. This time I heard the whispering coming from down the hall, from Lila's room. I went in, and she was fast asleep. But the mirror, that tall, quiet mirror, it felt like it was watching me. The air in the room was heavy. I felt sick standing there, so I did what anyone would do. I grabbed a towel from the bathroom and threw it over the mirror. Then I went back to the living room and tried to pretend nothing had happened. The next morning, when I went in to wake Lila up, I froze. The towel was gone, and written in bright red lipstick across the glass of the mirror were 2 chilling words. She knows. I packed my things and left before her parents even got home. I didn't say much, just that I couldn't babysit anymore. They thought I was being dramatic, that maybe I was too stressed or too tired. But I knew what I heard. I knew what I saw, and I haven't stepped foot in that house since. Still, sometimes late at night, I find myself staring into my own mirror, wondering what would have happened if I had asked a question. What would she have told me? Or worse, what would I have seen staring back?